It's official, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 will be on Game Pass.
Is this going to be the big win that Xbox needs?
Let's talk about it. Well, Tam, it's happening. The acquisition. Summer Game Fest is next week. But no, the acquisition of Activision Blizzard King has gone through for Xbox, obviously. One of the big questions when this was happening was, is Call of Duty going to be day and date on Game Pass? And they have announced that the 2024 COD, which is Black Ops 6, will be on Game Pass. If we're talking about the pros of Call of Duty being on Xbox, obviously there will hopefully be the uptick in subscriptions, etc. But in terms of exclusive content, I don't think they're allowed any.
No, for now, I think the court case specifically, they mentioned, or not specifically, broadly, they said that they wouldn't be denying access to players on other platforms, but that there's various loopholes in that no doubt were already written in for it. I think this might be a make or break moment for Game Pass. If this doesn't move the needle, I don't really know what else will. It's
GTA 6.
GTA 6 is the only one, but I will eat my own underwear if GTA 6 is on Game Pass.
Yeah.
The big concern, obviously, from the Activision side was cannibalization of sales, which I don't think Microsoft is as concerned about, especially given that their whole strategy is to get people through the door and then charge them for stuff while they're in there, which Call of Duty has been built to do for a number of years now. And on top of that, it feels like this is a different game from other Microsoft Xbox Game Pass editions because it's multi-platform from the outset, and it's also got a built-in audience on all the other platforms. Sea of Thieves, for example, made it to other platforms, but its ingrained audience is on Xbox and PC. The risk there is like different here, where you know that, even if we lose a chunk of money by making it Game Pass available, it's not as close to as much as money we would lose for making it exclusively on Xbox. So I think it's less of a risk than probably they think that most people would think it is. If you're on PC, if you're on a PlayStation, you can still buy it and play it. It's not an issue. So I'll be interested to see what Game Pass looks like after Call of Duty is released, maybe a few months. And how confident they are in it after that.
Xbox has not had a very good year so far. No. And actually, I mean, in general, AAA gaming is not having a very good year. No. Circana report came out this week. Hardware spending is way, way down. Most things are just being offset by mobile spending. Yeah. And so I'm sure Xbox is very happy that they have King, the King part of Activision Blizzard King. But I'm intrigued to see if this does move the needle in a meaningful way for Game Pass adoption, because it has been flat. And it does need that shot in the arm.
You need more people to enter the ecosystem so then they can also subscribe to Game Pass. But if no one's really entering the ecosystem in any meaningful way, your Game Pass subscribers are also limited by it. So it's a very, very tricky time for them. I think that what they're probably going to have to do now is just market Call of Duty Black Ops being on Game Pass to hell and just like put every bit of spending that they can to behind that to make sure people know if you get an Xbox, you get Call of Duty for free for $15 or $20 a month, whatever it may be, and hope that that is an enticing enough prospect to, one, either bring people into the Xbox ecosystem or have people who are in there that fell off re-up and come back. It's doable. It's definitely doable, but I also don't believe that one game is enough to show what the Game Pass model is capable of and lift all that entire business model up. I know we're all excited about Indiana Jones, but like I don't think that as a game has the power or the cachet or the clout to kind of be like, oh my god, there's an Indiana Jones game, I'm gonna subscribe to Game Pass and also buy an Xbox maybe. There's just nothing out there right now that is capable of doing it. I do think about how different this would have been as an announcement if Hellblade 2 popped off in a bigger way. Yeah. I would like to know whether that game did anything for Game Pass subscriptions. My suspicion is not really. It feels like it's gone already. Like it came and went very quickly. If that game had more momentum and more buzz around it, it could have been like the 1-2 punch of they've released a huge super high, critically acclaimed, game, and they're following up with Call of Duty, and then you can start thinking about, they've got Indiana Jones coming, that could be cool. The Bethesda crew are working on something. They said they've got Elder Scrolls coming, so maybe I will subscribe and I'll have a good future ahead of me.
Thinking back to when Game Pass was kind of hitting its stride and studio acquisitions are happening at a rapid pace, there was that infamous it was an E3 moment, so it must have been like 2019, and there was a roadmap, and it was every month there was something big day and day coming to Game Pass, and that was ultimately the promise of Game Pass. It's like, hey, we have all these studios going to have all these games, but unfortunately due to things like the pandemic and production schedules, and games are incredibly expensive and take a long time to make, there just hasn't been that monthly cadence, or even that bi-monthly, or even that quarterly cadence of the big Xbox titles. Yes, there have been incredible day one, like Pal World and Manor and whatever, but there hasn't been anything for Xbox. And so I'm really interested to see if, they have a lot more releases coming out at the end of this year. If that does start to buck the trend, maybe there will be the mass adoption because of COD and people will be super into it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, for consumers, Game Pass is incredible. It's, $17 a month?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a price hike comes along at some point soon as well. Because,
I wouldn't be surprised if it comes at Summer Game Fest.
Yeah, at Summer Game Fest. Price hikes right now are incredibly difficult to message, considering you have nothing to really kind of entice people. And if you're coming out and saying Call of Duty is going to be on Game Pass, which is going to be $5 more expensive now, that sucks. People are going to hate that. And I don't think, sadly, there's a lot of indie games out there that are exceptional. They're fantastic, but they don't have the attention that people need to kind of come along. Like, let's say, for example, one of the best indie games right now is Lorelei and Laser Eyes. If that was on Xbox Game Pass, I don't think that's going to help them much at all. And even if you stick a few other major indie releases in there, it's rough. You need these kind of lighthouse games that everyone wants to move towards. There's a kind of interesting discussion to be had around Xbox's business moves being counterintuitive in so many different ways, where they create Game Pass but then also create exclusive very expensive to make games. Look at Blade, for example. Is that going to be everywhere, or is Marvel going to be no, you don't, that's going to be, we need to make money off this? Perfect Dark as well, yeah. Or are they going to slowly shift to the Sony model where it's we have an exclusivity of 6 months to a year on Game Pass, and then it goes everywhere? I think that's more likely than anything else.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to wait and see when COD comes out late this year. Obviously, we'll get to see more of the game at Summer Game Fest, which is next week. Probably won't be an episode of Spot On because we will be on the ground in Los Angeles to see what Jeff and co have in store for us. Very excited. Make sure you stay tuned to GameSpot and, of course, to Giant Bomb from everything from Summer Game Fest. We'll see you there.
Bye.